Hello, and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen and Karen's Library with some abortion research for my abortion research playlist.
Jane, you had a late-term pregnancy termination in July last year. What was happening in your life that led to you becoming pregnant and then finding out you were pregnant?
I have endometriosis, and my doctor told me to go on the pill for 6 months and skip my periods for the 6 months just because I was so anemic I couldn't afford the blood loss. At the end of the 6 months, I went to have a period and it didn't come. I did not think. I have been pregnant before and I have a little boy, so I do know what being pregnant feels like, and I had zero idea, none at all.
You said that you, as soon as you found out you were pregnant, you knew that you were going to have a termination.
Yeah.
What was happening in your life that made you have that initial thought?
So I am a single mum and I have a little boy who is 8 now, and he was 6 at the time. He has disabilities, and all parents know that parenting is hard, but when you have a disabled child, it's another level of difficulty. And I try to do the best I can for him, and I knew that bringing in a newborn was going to be very rough. At that time, I was, technically homeless because I wasn't on the lease anywhere. I was staying with friends who very graciously let me and my little boy stay with them. I don't think I would still be here today if I had had that baby. It would have been so bad for my mental health. I truly don't think I would be here.
You found out you were 24 weeks pregnant. You were seeking a pregnancy termination. What happened?
Once that was, the hospital and the midwives were found, the next process was booking in for a twilight anaesthetic the day before to, I'm not really sure what it's called. It was an injection through my abdomen into the uterus to stop the heartbeat and stop the pregnancy. And then the next day, first thing in the morning, went to the Women's and Children's to get checked in, and that's when the process to induce me started, to start my labour.
If Ben Hood's private members bill gets up, someone in your position would have to deliver the fetus alive, the baby alive, as opposed to as a stillborn.
Yeah.
What difference do you think that would have made for you?
It makes me really sad to think about it if the bill gets through, but also really angry because I don't think that this bill is a solution to a real problem. I think it's creating a problem because nobody's getting a late-term abortion for convenience. It has to be deemed medically necessary.
Protesters dressed in outfits from The Handmaid's Tale have demonstrated outside South Australia's Parliament tonight as it debated controversial abortion law reforms. The bills would see women seeking abortions post 27 weeks required to deliver their babies alive. Let's go to Alan Murrell for the latest on this. And Alan, is this expected to pass?
Well, the vote in South Australia's upper house was always going to be tight, and MPs came under enormous pressure in the hours leading up to the debate. Essentially, what this bill would do would be effectively remove abortion as an option at 28 weeks gestation. The infant would have to be born alive and then adopted out. Opponents rallied on the steps. They said it would undo the reforms brought in with decriminalisation in South Australia that were passed in 2021. They described the bill put forward by Conservative Liberal MP Ben Hood as draconian. And they portrayed it as something akin to a scene out of Handmaid's Tale. At one point, the author of the legislation gate-crashed that rally and exchanged heated words with participants before being escorted away by police. This has divided MPs on both sides of the House. Some on both sides are very much opposed to the bill, some are very much in favour, but because it is a private member's bill, MPs have been allowed a conscience vote.
This is a matter of conscience for the members of this parliament, and I respect each and every one of them in the decision that they make.
It's quite clear the majority of South Australians actually support abortion being treated as a healthcare issue and not a political plaything, but we're not going to be able to stop the politicians playing with their toys now, are we, when there's a few votes for them in it?
The one thing that both sides can agree on is that once there is a state election and a different balance of MPs, this issue will once again be revisited.
A controversial bill to change South Australia's abortion laws has been narrowly defeated in the state parliament's upper house. Reporter Bethany Alderson joins us live from Adelaide with all the details. And Beth, this was quite a heated debate.
Yeah, that's right, Kath. And it was after about 3 hours of debate in the upper house last night when this bill to amend the state's abortion laws was defeated, with 9 members voting in favour of it and 10 voting against it. Now, these amendments, which were introduced by Liberal MLC Ben Hood, would have meant that a person seeking to terminate a pregnancy after 27 weeks and 6 days would have been induced and required to give birth to a live baby, and they then would have had the option of putting the baby up for adoption. Now, both major parties allowed a conscience vote on the matter, which meant that MPs didn't have to vote along party lines. Supporters of the bill were arguing that it balanced the rights of women with children, while opponents said that it would cause suffering to women and interfere with their access to healthcare. Now, under the current laws in South Australia, which were passed in 2021, people can get late-term abortions after 22 weeks and 6 days if it's deemed medically appropriate by 2 doctors. Liberal Upper House MP Michelle Lensink was one of those who helped spearhead the current laws, and she was quite critical of the proposed amendments in the lead-up to last night's debate. Ms Lensink, who also announced earlier this year that she was undergoing treatment for her breast cancer, posted to social media last night where she alleged that she was misled by parliamentary colleague and One Nation MP Sarah Game that she was going to pair with her on the vote in her absence. Ms Lensink wrote, "It shows how desperate and un-Australian some people are in this debate." Now, Sarah Game has been contacted for comment, but the result of this bill means it won't go to the lower house and it won't become law. And Mr Hood has previously said that if the bill fails, he sees it unlikely that it will be brought before Parliament again before the next state election. But Kath, there'll be plenty more fallout from this debate, no doubt, as the day continues.
Bethany Alderson joining us from Adelaide. Thank you.
A Melbourne graduation ceremony has turned sour as an anti-abortion speech triggered a mass walkout. Angry students are now demanding the union boss behind the microphone be stripped of his honorary title.
One by one, students and staff rose to their feet, filing out of their graduation ceremony, hijacked by an anti-abortion speech.
This was meant to be a celebration, and that was taken away from them.
United outside the Australian Catholic University's Fitzroy campus this afternoon, they demanded an apology.
We are the students! We won't be silenced!
I was shocked. I was horrified.
Everyone walked outside, they were shaking. We can't do that stuff in classrooms. He shouldn't do it at our graduation ceremony.
The speech was delivered by Joe de Bruin. He was there receiving an honorary award for his outstanding support to the Catholic Church, promoting liberal arts education and a lifetime of representing the interests of Australian workers.
Students want ACU to stripe Joe de Bruin of his honorary doctorate title.
ACU says the comments were made in a personal capacity, and while they may not reflect the views of staff and students, they remain committed to open and respectful dialogue.
The former union boss has since doubled down, saying it's disappointing people walked out, but he wouldn't do anything differently.
It's encouraging to see students who were at this graduation ceremony standing up for what is right and legal in Victoria.
Rochelle Brown, 7 News.
Hi, I'm Ophelia Jacobson with Campus Reform. We've seen so many talks about race and racism in recent weeks, and we're here today at the University of Florida to talk with students about one example they may not know about, Planned Parenthood. How will students react when they find out about Planned Parenthood's racist founder? Let's find out. So over the last few weeks in this country, we've seen a movement to remove racist historical figures, institutions, and statues. Do you agree with this movement? Should we be doing that? Yeah, I completely agree with removing Confederate statues and any racist landmarks if they have a negative history.
America has like a really toxic past, and we shouldn't be like memorializing that.
I think it's good. I think as a country we need to progress past like idolizing racist figures.
Okay, so I want to give you a quote that was said by the founder of a really prominent institution in this country. I'm going to read you a quote and get your reaction, okay? "We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population." This individual also once spoke at a KKK meeting. How do you feel about this quote?
I think there's no question how I should feel about the quote.
I think that's bad.
That's just so obviously wrong.
I think that he shouldn't be a founder of any institution.
Can't believe someone said that.
He should be held accountable, or she should be held accountable for what they said.
Stop being racist. To exterminate any human being is not okay. He should probably be exposed for that.
It's racist.
The worst part is there's several people who are currently in power that I can guess made that quote.
Who do you think made that quote?
Of course, my first thought goes to Trump.
Why do you think Trump is racist?
If literally anyone looks up anything about Trump and things that he said, I think it's a safe conclusion to draw.
Do you have any direct quotes about that? Like any direct quotes that he said?
I don't know any quotes off the top of my head, honestly.
So what about the organization? What should be done with the organization?
I think there should be like maybe an investigation.
I don't think that the entire organization, everyone associated with it, can be, in a sense, canceled, but I definitely think that there should be actions taken to mitigate the way that their founder has acted.
Should we even be funding this organization if that's what the founder said?
And they should definitely like look into what the organization is promoting and whatnot.
Them excusing something like that would be racist.
People as individuals need to like really decide for themselves if they want to support it or not. But I know I definitely wouldn't if the leader said that.
So what if I were to tell you that this quote was actually said by Margaret Sanger, who is the founder of Planned Parenthood?
Dang, all right.
Did you know about that?
No, I did not, but yeah, they should do something about that.
It makes me feel nauseous.
I'm actually surprised. Well, I mean, Planned Parenthood is usually a very liberal and inclusive organization.
I kind of actually knew that Planned Parenthood was founded in kind of in a selective breeding kind of thing. There's definitely problems within that, because I know black babies are aborted at a way higher rate than white babies.
If I were a supporter or not a supporter, what she said wouldn't really change it. 'Cause I'm sure that there's many people under that founder that care about Black lives.
Like I agree with what Planned Parenthood is doing, but I definitely don't think someone like that should be a leader.
Well, I actually do stand with Planned Parenthood. The abortion rate for black women is 5 times higher than white women. Can an organization that says they support Black Lives Matter really say that if, their founder, she said that their goal is to exterminate the Negro population? I'm actually going to cut you off right now. I want this interview done.
It shouldn't really matter like who has abortions more. I think abortion should be available to everyone.
Someone else should step up to the plate who's more accepting and who resembles what Planned Parenthood says they stand for, which is lives.
When you say that Planned Parenthood stands for lives, what do you mean by that?
Like they help women make their own decisions. I've had a good experience with them, and they like to help others.
As long as that the organization itself isn't being racist, then we can't really go after the organization itself for it.
I still definitely support Planned Parenthood.
I do think Planned Parenthood is important and needs to continue on.
And that's all. Oh, what terrible spelling. That's better. Anyway, that'll do. See you later. Bye.